Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Rodriguez and I'm here to teach you about the problem solving technique called Appreciative Inquiry. This is kind of a problem solving technique and it allows you to take a difficult situation and to reframe it into an opportunity. So for this, I did a little experiment of my own, and that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today and show you if it was successful or not. So before I begin, I'm going to give you a little bit background on myself and the situation. So I am a dental assistant. I've been a dental assistant for 8 years, and then I'm also a dental assistant instructor, and I've been a dental assistant instructor for 3 weeks. So that being said, ironically, this assignment came to me at the time whenever I actually needed this. So when I took the instructor position 3 weeks ago, I didn't really know what I was stepping into. I did know a little bit about the background, which was the instructor that I was taking over for actually had stepped down from the position. She left pretty much without notice and left a class high and dry for the last 4 weeks. So you can imagine whenever I stepped into the classroom, there was a lot of upset students and the staff is kind of lost on what to do about it because they don't have anybody to instruct the class. That being said, you can see how the situation could have gotten really sticky over the past 4 weeks. And whenever I walked in, it was like jumping into a pot of honey. Like there was no room to breathe. There was no room to figure out what was going on. And I just needed to figure out a solution. So a lot of these students it's in a lower privileged area. So a lot of these students are not high school graduates. They're going to the college to get probably their high school diploma along with a career. And so it's a tech college. And that being said, that's kind of who is involved in the whole situation. I have a lot of these students this is their one chance. It's their opportunity, you know? So for me, it was kind of like, okay, so these poor kids are frustrated because they're about to go out on externship and they have no idea what they're doing. They don't know, how to take an x-ray properly. They haven't finished all their patients because they haven't had an instructor to help them figure it out for the last 4 weeks. And so whenever I stepped in, I had to figure out a way to get them engaged and get them re-encouraged and ready to go out into the world. So that being said, my first approach was kind of to just find out where they were at so that I could help, create a better situation for them and figure out where they needed to go next. So for that, I literally asked them, what do you feel like you need help on? What do you feel like you haven't learned? What do you feel most scared about? And then I took that and kind of made a plan. And then I was like, don't worry, I'm going to help you. So in terms of measures of success, I think being very positive has brought up their spirits a little bit and caused them to want to, engage and feel like, there's somebody there to support them. So whenever I decided to execute this, I pretty much walked up to the students and was like, hey, what do you need help with? Let me help you. And believe it or not, it just took that, because then it was like, oh, I need help with this. And whenever I explained it, they're like, oh, okay, I get it. And they were able to connect the dots. I think a lot of them too, because they've been doing their homework and self-study and stuff like that. So that helped as well. And then just having somebody to ask questions to, you know what I mean? And I know that because I brought in a couple examples of projects that I had done in my dental assisting class, and just to show them, like, this is what a denture is, like, just things that they had heard about but they hadn't seen, and they were able to say, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that helped, and I think that made them a little bit more excited. When I had one girl that actually was like, whoa, that's really cool, you made those, you were able to make those, that is really cool. And I was like, see, that's where you can go with dentistry, there's opportunity out there. And that kind of encouraged them, and they were like, okay. So then the next night, whenever we actually had lecture, we had a Zoom lecture, and everybody came, they participated, they were listening, and they asked questions, and it was very engaging. So it was nice to see that, and to see that, you know, we're going in the right direction now. So my reflection on the whole entire situation is that I feel like using a positive approach with all of the students was able to, you know what I mean, to help them want to jump in and do things themselves. And with this method, pretty much, it's really about positive core, the strengths of the students, and kind of figuring out where they're at and where they want to go. So I know that the AI example, you know, it takes like pretty much the background or the main purpose of an organization, which in this case would be the school, and wanting to teach them and get them ready to go out into the world, right? And so when they are able to discover, you know, what is out there, then it makes them want to learn, and it makes them think, oh, well, what can that, you know, envision like where they want to go, which is the dream step. And then they design it, and they're like, okay, how am I going to be ideal? And then that's going to kind of cause empowerment and the will to learn, and they want to improve and just keep going. And it kind of leads all back to the same vicious cycle all over again, and you just keep growing as a person. So I think in the future, whenever I start teaching, I'm actually going to use this model. Hopefully my next class won't be as crazy, but even for the next couple of weeks, I have them for 2 more weeks, so I'm hoping that I can continue to use this and continue to get them excited so that they want to continue on in the future. And then I'll have all the little happy little dental students that'll go out, and they'll be awesome assistants and want to keep learning and keep in touch and keep moving on up in the world. All right, guys, that is it for my lovely video. Sorry it's a little bit over. Have a good evening.